Hello everybody, Reggie Time here with another video in the fundraising activity I'm trying to do. There's going to be at least 2 more videos because I received 2 £10 donations yesterday. Thank you very much to Michelle and Anna for those. They really are appreciated. Someone's also pledged, I think it's Andy, is it, pledged to donate today. I haven't received that yet, but I'm sure it will come in. So thank you very much to you 3 guys. Just very briefly to let you know what I'm doing, I'm making up to 15 videos this month trying to raise at least £150 to donate to a local social club that provides evening entertainment activities for people in my area with learning disabilities. I put $50 on 888. I'm going to, at the end of the month, whatever that amount is, I'm going to withdraw that and donate it, and I'm asking you guys to help me with some donations too, so hopefully we can raise 200 or 200 plus pounds to give to them so they can perhaps or hopefully make a better Christmas party for the guys that use the social clubs. So every £10 that I get donated means 1 video, capped at 15 videos. So up to now I've had 2 £10 donations. This is the second video. There'll be at least a third video, and if the donations keep coming in every £10, unlocks an extra video. So if you haven't donated yet and you're considering doing it, please do, and the videos will keep coming. Let's crack on with this. I've only just started the session. We played one hand here. We had pocket kings, we 3-bet, and we took the pot down, so you didn't miss anything. Just 2 backdoor draws here. Board reasonable for us to see bet. We can represent a lot of ace-x. We can barrel lots of turns, 8s, diamonds, 5s, 4 to a check raise, of course, which is what we've done. We're starting this session at 11:43 UK time. It's a little bit later than yesterday. The pool doesn't look great. There's not too many people in it. Certainly not too many people in the pool from countries that have strong economies. So I'm not expecting the games to be anything out of the ordinary, but we'll see. You never know. Gonna bet here twice now. He's checked twice. Oh, okay, we're gonna bet once. That's all it took. Given we're going to be playing most of these sessions in the morning, I'm not expecting to make an absolute ton of money, and I'm not expecting to play too much outside of the videos that we're going to make. My plan was to play quite a lot of volume, but I don't want to sacrifice too much of my playing time for Sky, so probably mostly just going to be when we make videos. Obviously, if the donations don't come in and we end up not making too many videos, then perhaps I'll find some extra time to try and grind it out. Hopefully we get enough donations where we can get at least 15 hours playing time in recorded. Very easy c-bet here with the ace queen and the 3-bet pot, and he absolutely turbo folded, which is quite dull. I'm not going to set mine versus an under the gun open from this stack size. Andy commented yesterday saying, yes, you are a fucking nit, and whilst I completely agree with him, when I checked in Hold'em Manager, my actual stats for yesterday's session were like 25-20 with a reasonable 3-bet number. So yesterday I actually didn't play that much like a fucking nit, but yeah, guilty as charged in general. I am absolutely a nit. I think we're just going to jam 30 bigs here against the fish who's min opened. No sense making it that much smaller. King 10 off under the gun is not going to be an open. Ace 10 off is a pretty miserable hand to take versus a 3-bet. Given he's made it so small, then the question is here, do we 4-bet as a bluff? And do we just defend? I mean, we can't fold. I think we'll just defend and then see what happens post flop. Pretty promising flop at the moment, although I'm not super thrilled that he's gone with the big sizing. But we do have top pair, backdoor, not flush draw, so obviously we're not going anywhere just yet. I'm probably going to need to call this turn 2 and then quite put. Oh, I didn't realise that was a misclick by me. I did not mean to make it 56. I thought I was just opening. Didn't see the limp. I'm going to call here and probably fold rivers, I guess. It's going to be tricky if he bets. He's just gone like bet here, 3-betters pre-flop. Having the ace of hearts here is not particularly useful. We'd much prefer if he had the ace of hearts. Still obviously behind the jacks, queens, kings. Calling triple barrels in 3-bet pots is not my idea of fun. I think we can just let this go. Don't feel good about it, but without the ace of hearts there, I think I probably do just cry call. But having the ace of hearts is really not helpful to us there. Disappointing to put 30 blinds in and then have to fold top pair on the river, but not going to defend here with versus a 3x and that stack sizing. I'm going to check back the kings here. It's really hard for him to have anything on this board. We've just got the ball crushed. Looks like we're just going to win a tiny pot here. We're going to make quads, straight flushes yesterday, quads today. I'm going to target a 10 here and go with a reasonable sizing. And just hope he's got a pair, he just doesn't fold. People aren't good at folding full houses. And we do get the call from pocket queens. That pot could have been much bigger, couldn't it? These games are like absolutely, and I include myself in this, pretty weak tight players. If we're talking about poker from like more of a game theory oriented, we probably should all be playing much looser, much more aggressive. I don't, because the rate's just so high. I think a lot of the hands we'd like to play become borderline unprofitable due to rake. They're just so weak and tight, you know. But people are like check calling 2-3 streets with hands that probably shouldn't be in their range. Like pocket queens there, for example. Maybe he should be 3-betting that pre-flop, but then he just check calls down. As far as I can see, there's not a ton of bluffing, particularly not from regulars. It seems to be very much more to do with like, let's just make hands and get our reasonable showdown value to showdown and only raise with our like super strong equity bluffs and nutted stuff. I think the games are played incredibly straightforwardly. Sometimes it's just difficult to find the discipline to fold in spots where you've been having sessions and there's not been much going on. You finally make a hand and you manage to find somebody manages to find a raise against you. And you're like, oh really? You know, I haven't seen a good hand for ages, and now, you know, I've probably been cooled or been sucked out on. So I think in these games, the discipline to make sure that you're getting value whilst also having the discipline and the ability to fold like one pair type hands, even strong one pair type hands versus aggression is a key skill to have in these games. But it does make them remarkably dull, which is why I typically don't play them. But they do make for easy content though, which is why we're doing it this month. I don't necessarily well, not necessarily. I don't at all advocate people to play these games. I think you're going to be much better, whichever site you're on, you're going to be much better playing regular tables and trying to find some value rather than playing speed poker against mostly a bunch of pretty tight, fishy type players. It's not a very financially rewarding experience. It's not a particularly entertaining poker experience most of the time. Versus this stack size, we're just going to make a large bet, and if it raises, then just get the money in. Don't know this player from a hole in the ground, but we're going to be putting some more money in with our aces, of course. And we instantly get the fold. Seems to be more and more people playing short stacks creeping into the game, and I used to automatically, I'd see somebody playing less than 100 big blinds, I would automatically just tag them as a fish. And whilst none of them are going to be good at poker, most of them still are pretty tight. I've learned in these games that we want to be playing tight when people have entered the pot before us. This Von Oliver seen him limp a couple of times now, so we're going to try and isolate him. And people have entered pots before us, but especially with the raise, I think we need to play quite tight, because statistically these games, they're pretty tight games. Right, so we've had a player who's limp called and then snap donked into us, going nowhere. We now pick up a flush draw, so we'll be certainly calling turns too. Maybe there's a chance that we could be behind here. I mean, the 3's a really good card for us. But if it's value betting, we're not beating that much. And we are just going to check back this river. Hope to beat Ace Jack, King 10, those types of hands that maybe he was trying to protect. Queen 10, just limp calls and donks or draws. Okay, that's an interesting note to have. Limp call, Queen 10, off. Then double donk OESD, give up river. There we go, so we've got the note. We've got the note in place. To get checked back with the 4s. See, well, we could potentially make another straight flush. That would be pretty nice. We don't make a straight flush, but we do make a straight and a flush. Try and get some value now. Albeit very small value. All these players in 4, it just makes life really difficult. The 3xing, the high rake environment, we can't 3-bet and fold really. We don't really want to 3-bet and call. Just a lot of really crappy options. I mean, we need to be defending Ace Jack versus the cut-off open in some way. But yeah. I mean, I think it's about time PokerSites stops people buying in for like 40 blinds. I mean, I think 100 blinds should be minimum buy. I'd much preferred PokerSites to represent more like live poker and deep stack with an ante, and like none of these shitty asshole short buy-in types, because they just ruin the game. They really spoil the game. It makes it much more about pre-flop than post-flop, which for me is when poker is least fun, when we're pretty much just making all our key decisions pre-flop, where there's most guesswork involved. Not for me. And there's so many of these players that you think, oh, the short stackers are going to have like really aggressive, play the old aggressive short stack strategy that came about years ago. But that doesn't appear to be the case. There's lots of short stackers in these games that are just enormous fucking nits, to be honest with you. Right, my phone's ringing, so I'm going to play these aces, then I'm going to have to pause the video and return the call. It's work related, but we're going to play the aces first, of course. Not really see much point in raising here. Wow. It's my boss and she's been remarkably persistent with this phone call. That's a 7 of hearts on the river, which is not a good card. Maybe it saves us money if he had us beat from jump. Just odd line that this guy's taken, but clearly our races are worthless now. So we're going to fold and sit out, and you guys won't notice how long this phone call is going to take, but we'll get back to the session in a moment. And those aces were disappointing. Got all these little fucking $4 fucking. I thought it would mostly. They tend to come mostly from Eastern Europe. I find them all incredibly frustrating. I think we're just going to jam the ace jack here, and if he has better, then he has better. He indeed does have better. Quel surprise, as the saying goes. Where's my ace? No ace. I think if they like every day I play these games, if we do end up getting all the donations, I think there might be more than a small chance that we actually move this to Unibet or possibly the Sky 10NL games, because who really wants to see these where it's just a bunch of like nits looking to try and cooler each other. I'm not sure. We'll see how this session goes in the next one. I'm going to definitely plan to do another video tomorrow morning to honour my commitment to the people who've already donated, but after that there's a reasonable chance that we may well move the bankroll to another site and see how we go from there, because yeah, when I was looking at hands yesterday, there are some loose players in the pool, but by and large it's just a bunch of people like myself, just boring regulars grinding it out. So we'll see. I don't want this to be a dull challenge where we don't make a lot of money and it's just me constantly moaning about shit games. It's not what I want to do. I'd much rather be in games that are fun to play in and hopefully make some more upbeat content than just, oh, there's Reggie again complaining about speed poker. Probably maybe I shouldn't even start here. Maybe we should just have started it at Unibet, but it is what it is. I didn't really want to do it in the style of my videos in August where I was inputting hands into poker hand replays and reviewing them, because that just takes a lot more work and I didn't want to commit to doing 15 of those videos. But it's probably going to be more fun for me doing that than it is grinding these games if they're going to be like this every day, and then just committing to donate, like, I don't know, 10% of my September profits up to like a cap of £100 or something. Maybe that might be a nice adjustment to make. Right, if we just call here, because he's blocking here for sure. He doesn't have us beat. There's just no way he has us beat here. I'm going to wait for the river and raise the river, I think. 3 of spades isn't ideal, but I don't think he has flushes too often. Yeah. Now it's just a matter of what size. I'm pretty sure he's got an ace. So now it's a matter of like, how much does he call with an ace here? What bluffs can I represent? I think he's probably going to have ace, king, ace, queen. So I'm going to go pretty damn big here. It's a shame the flush card's got there. I'm not going to see bet bluff with a pretty weakish draw on a paired board multi-way. We do turn the flush, and opponent only had ace 3. Ah, right, he had ace 3, 2 pair on the river. And the one thing I didn't commit to was like making all the videos in this game. I committed to trying to play this game and trying to win some money. But if I were to move to another site and like do the donation that way and create content differently from a different site. I'm not going back on any promises. I'm just going back on what I originally thought might be an okay idea. Those who've followed the channel for a while, you'll understand that I have a real problem sticking to plans. I lack discipline in that sense. Ace 10. Defend it with a call. I think it's not the nicest of hands to play our position, but we're going to be ahead of his range. If we 3-bet, then I don't think we do ourselves too many favours versus his defending range. I mean, we might have the best hand here, but it's not particularly promising, so we'll just let it go. Look at this, $4, $4, $6. Do me a favour. So we've been called here. That position is going to have a lot of like pocket pairs, Ace 10 suited, King Queen suited, Ace Jack, etc. Given we have some backdoor equity, we're going to kick off with a bet, just a small one, and see what happens on turns. See if we can improve our equity in some way. That doesn't improve us. He's made a pretty big C. 4x has made a big C bet. We do have some overs in the back door and 2 back doors. Again, I think we'll float once here. And now we're going to start putting some money in. Disappointing if we get check raised here, but I don't think too many people play king this way. I think they're going to be looking to protect the king on this board texture. So I think we're going to have a decent amount of fold equity versus better hands. Hope he doesn't raise here. If he raises, we're going to have to fold because we just never have the best hand. We can get some cards from like King, Queen, Ace, Jack, those types of things. Ace, Jack. I'm going to have to fold the Ace 9. We are a little bit deeper, sorry, the 8-9 suited. And these are the sort of hands that I really enjoy playing, but I don't particularly enjoy playing them out of position in 3-bet pots. In position, no, excuse me. In position, I think we have a pretty easy peel there, that deep, like 140 blinds deep, whatever it was, 150 blinds deep. I think we have an easy peel, but not out of position. It's too much of a disadvantage. That should have been an open from the small blind. It was just mid-ramble and lost concentration. Going to be check calling at least twice with our Jack 8 here, then making some decisions on rivers. He's not betting, he's betting really quickly, which typically when people bet quickly it's an indication that they're quite weak. Or that used to be the common line of thinking, and turns out to be the case there. We expect. Yeah, he had 9-4 of hearts, which was, yeah, super weak. Again, another toss pot short stacker going with the 3-bet. Nothing much we can do with the Ace 10. Gonna go with the raise here to kick it off. I mean, we could call, but I think raising versus these min donks is overall a very profitable strategy long term. Doesn't always work, of course, but I think it's an incredibly good strategy long term. We get called and then we improve our equity, but I think actually our hand gets much weaker because it's a heart and it's an overcard, so just check back and give up at this point. Tag him as like blue, so he stands out more when I'm at the tables. Definitely some kind of short stacker. Whether it's an aggressive short stacker or a nitty short stacker, we don't yet know. I'll find out after the session when we open our order manager. And 3-bet fold the ace jack offsuit here on the button. Get donked into 2 overs, backdoors. Again, we're going to go with the raise rather than the float. It's too big to float, really. I think we can raise, put some pressure on some of his like weaker hands that are better than ours. This fat Nick appears to be constantly reloading to €4 to $4 too, which likely means he's some kind of regular. Again, not a regular I will have any respect for as a human being and as a poker player, because they're buying in for the minimum, but nevertheless I still expect to be playing solid ranges. And 4x under the gun open. Well, never mind. It's a moot point now because it's been 3-bet. I'm going to make this around 60 something. Been squeezed here. It's pretty damn small squeeze. Didn't enjoy making that fold. It was not a fold that I particularly enjoyed making. I think we're in a bad spot in terms of like being dominated, and yeah, it's pretty to see the two of the same colour, but it adds some value to your hand, but not a load. Yeah, I think it would have been very easy for me to be indisciplined there, but I'm pretty glad that it wasn't. Check min raised. Let's see if we can hit a jack or a diamond then, eh? Nope. So we've been donked into again here. We're not going to raise this donk bet. Don't think we have. Not big fan of the board texture. I don't know. We can't just raise every donk bet we ever see, can we? We did have some backdoor equity and what have you there, but wasn't feeling it that time. I just wasn't feeling it, which is probably a shit reason not to do something, but or to do something, either way around. Oh, I feel I should do this, or not feeling I should do this. It's yeah, I mean, I think I am something of like an old school feel player. It's hard to have feel on the internet, but I think by feel player, people just mean like instinctive. Maybe like they've got some subconscious things that they can't always like bring those thoughts like with clarity to the front of the mind, but you just like instinctively know when you should do something. I guess I'm one of those guys. It's not very scientific, but it's worked for me for a long time. Doesn't mean say you just need to keep working on your game. And the more you work on your game, the more you learn. It does influence the way you instinctively react to things. I mean, I play very differently now to how I used to play, but I still feel that I play quite instinctively. I'm not having this donk bet on this dry board. We're going to raise and we're going to be able to barrel lots of turns. 5, 4, 9, club. Check back on a 7, I guess. I won't be surprised if it's a donk bet again though. So when he donk calls this board, he's just got an ace nearly all of the time. It's so dry, there's no draws out there. If he did have a draw, then we're ahead of it now, one would imagine. But we're not planning on putting any more money in this pot. And this dude's just got an ace here. I would say an ace or better, but probably just an ace. You know, at least 80% of the time then, I would imagine. It's been in that spot so many times, and yeah, it's just bad players doing odd things. If someone donks into me and then they call a raise, I need very specific circumstances before I continue putting money in. I don't just continue bluffing regardless, like a kind of shit cavalier gung-ho type attitude. There were certain turns there that I absolutely would have been continuing on, but the 7 gave us an opportunity to check, and then hopefully we're not losing minimum. We could have just folded the flop and lost the minimum, but you know what I mean. That's how we can bet here. Just deny equity to his overcards and things, and if we do get called, then we may still have the best hand, and if we don't, then one would imagine we have quite a lot of equity. Well, not quite a lot, but a reasonable amount of equity. Could squeeze here, but not massively fond of squeezing versus under the gun, especially not with a hand that can flop the nuts. Gonna bet here just to charge single diamond hands. Pretty sure we have the best hand when that flop checks through. I'm sure I got this player tagged as a fish. It's turning up at a lot of tables and it's quite possibly irregular, multi-tabling regular, but he's got the green tag for some reason. Just don't know why. I'm not going to be thrilled to get jammed on here, but there's just too much money in this pot already for me to consider folding ace king and flatting with it. Isn't at all appealing. I get the call again, the overcall. I'm just going to jam here. Got less than the pot size bet left. Just hope he hasn't spiked a set of jacks on us. No, not going to open. That's that. Thank you for the blue tag. That's why we should tag people, because this would be an open for me a lot of the time, but not with a blue tag in the big blinds. It's a loose enough open anyway, to be fair. 10-6 suited. It's already loose enough. So if there's any reason to consider not doing it, then I think it's probably savvy to not do it. Could have 3-bet there. It's just a hand I would 3-bet. If I knew more about my opponents, if I knew like it was a regular, tightish regular, whatever, I think it's a hand I would 3-bet with a decent frequency blind versus blind, but just don't know anything about him. Could be a maniac, could be a lag. So I tend not to. Basically, against players that I'm not sure of, my 3-betting range tends to be depolarized. The only time I start throwing the light 3-bets in is against people who I know have wide ranges and are going to have to fold a lot, or people who are quite tight but who I know like fold too much versus 3-bets. I need a specific reason to 3-bet less orthodox hands. Usually I'd just be going with the with a depolarized strategy, like very much like this one here with the king queen off. Do get the call, and we flop the nuts. That is nice. Seems like a good spot to down bet. Depressingly, the down bet still appears to be too, well, it doesn't appear to be. Depressingly, the down bet was too much for our opponent to be able to continue. I'm thinking 78. That's what I'm thinking here. 78 was the number that came into my head. The 9 is not a particularly nice card. Don't think we have a 3-barrel situation anymore here, and for value. It's going to be hard to get value from worse for 3 streets. It needs to have a hand like Jack 10, Queen 10, etc. So we're going to start trying to pot control, get to showdown, maybe catch a bluff. That is a pretty awful run out for 2 kings. We're just going to have to check fold here. 9-7. So I think we can safely tag his nick as a recreational player. My purple tag is typically for people who I perceive to be too loose aggressive in an exploitable way. Nothing which we're going to be able to do about it with the Queen 9 off, of course. Maybe they should open less wide into those people, but that's not to say Queen 9 off's not an open. Queen 9 off's just a mandatory open on the button, irrespective of who's in the blinds, but just something to bear in mind that he's in the pool and maybe need to adjust to him. Or just be aware he's there and be careful. Fat Nick with the 4x. Ace Queen's just going to be too strong. I'm willing to get it in for 40 blinds versus 4x. bad turn card here in terms of us being able to continue getting 3 streets of value. Can't really check fold yet either. Oh, he's gone with him in 4 bet. Fat Nick's got aces, hasn't he? Fat Nick's got aces, and we're going to give him the full payment. Min 4 bet. Go on, put the chop out for the laughs. Nah, don't then. Right, so min 4 bet. AA pre off 40 BB. What a weapon. What an absolute weapon. 4x aces, min 4 bet pre, and fucking Reggie just decides to dump 40 blinds on him. Don't know who I'm more annoyed with there. Him, just for fucking having the existence that he fucking has. Or me, for just, you know, donated to his fucking worthless existence. And that's what they are. If you buy in for 40 big blinds and you min 4 bet 2 aces, you are fucking worthless. Absolutely fucking worthless as a poker player, as a human being, as an entity, as a mass of atoms. Just stop being fucking worthless. That's it. That's the I think I'm more annoyed with myself, to be honest, which is why I'm ranting and being somewhat unpleasant. We need to go bigger here, don't we, I think? Right, so I don't think we can get much value. A lot of his range is going to be draws that have missed, and 8x that probably can't call a third barrel, so we are going to check, but we're not going to fold. We're not going to be asked to fold. I presume he had an 8 or something there, did he? 10-3. But yeah, rant or no rant, I do stand by my opinion that, in fact, if you buy in, I'm going to be careful what I say here, because I don't want to be upsetting people. If you buy in for 40 big blinds in a cash game and then proceed to play, I mean, if you're fishing, you're buying for 40 big blinds and you limp around and splash around, fine, no problem. But if you specifically buy in cash games 40 big blinds deep with the intention of playing boring tight poker, then yeah, you're worse. You're worse than, yeah, you're worse than Bin Laden, aren't you? You're worse than Bin Laden. You're worse than Jihadi John. Probably not as bad as Trump. That's where I'm putting you. You know, that's where I'm putting you on my scale of how much of a fucking worthless disease you are. And I make no apologies to America or even UK friends who are Donald Trump voters and devotees. Don't actually think I really believe he's worse than Jihadi John and Osama bin Laden, but if when I said it triggered you a little bit, then that puts a smile on my face. No, I probably shouldn't have called the flop there, to be fair. He's got no money to win. Then all of a sudden he's doing something random and just donking and take it off screen for a second. Yeah, this dude flopped the nuts or flopped the flush, and this other dude just did something weird. think for 52 cents we just probably need to call here with the Jack 9. Not really not in love with it. But we are kind of protected by this short stack. This dude just can't go like crazy on flops, but it doesn't matter anymore. So we've been raised post flop. I think this is just a fold. There's just so many bad run outs for us where we're just going to be forced to fold our hand. It's exploitable as fuck to just fold here. You can have some draws. It is quite a draw heavy board. But we have no backdoor equity to fall back. I do want to call here then, like say the turns are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Basically, what good turn cards are there for us? Queen. We hit Queen, might have us drawing dead. Yeah. I mean, if these games were like way more aggressive post flop, that would be like a spot where you could consider like staying in the hand. But the game just don't play that way. We probably played almost 2 hours now on video, and we can probably count the amount of times we've been raised post flop on one hand, and we probably haven't been bluff raised yet on a flop. Would be my guess. I just don't think bluff raising is a thing with enough players in these games to justify calling one and then subsequent bets. And we just call there, and the line used to be years ago in the olden days of like call flop, reevaluate turn. That isn't a thing anymore. People are just way more sophisticated players these days. People don't raise flops and just give up very much anymore. It's just not the way the game goes. Do we check raise here? I think we do. We could even have considered leading the turn, I guess. So either go really small here or go really big, isn't it? It's either all in or like 2. I can prefer the all in. It's either got that awkward spot, 100 blinds deep, 3-bet pots. Does lead to some like awkward turn spots where you need to go one way or the other, like big or small. I just hope there he had maybe pocket 10s, pocket jacks, and wasn't going to fold them. If I get in my database later and find out that fucking, whatever it's called, Fat Nick, and I suspect he's probably going to be something like 1611. If I find out he's a fucking 1611 wank stain, I'm going to be furious. If he's like a laggy one, then whatever. But yeah, I'm going to be hating him even harder if it turns out he's one of the fucking nitty ones. That Exa Roshi you play. Anyone who plays these games a lot, you'll be aware of some Russian player called Exa Roshi. Absolute fucking monster nit. Just plays a shitty short stacking strategy. Another one who I wouldn't be overly disappointed if he never played poker again. I'm not saying it because I find them hard to beat. I just think they're really, really bad for the games. I mean, they're not hard to beat. They're not easy to make a ton of money from either, but they're not especially hard to beat. It's just they just make for bad games, and if there's 2 or 3 of them in a pool at any given time, it ruins the dynamic of the game. Like, we've been checking min raised here. We're not going anywhere. There's a chance he could have like aces or kings and be doing it. Don't think he's going to have 5x very much. I'm much more worried about like, if he's got a 5x, he's probably got quads or pocket 4s. We're not folding here. We're not jamming either. We're just mentally committing to calling down, irrespective of the river. He checks. Now we're going to go all in. I'm going to hope he has pocket jacks, pocket nines, pocket eights, that type of thing. Wow, 2 kings, never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Does he not value bet kings on the river there? How does he not value bet kings? Don't know. I mean, he's checking to like induce, but induce versus what? You know, I'm not going to show it with any bluffs then. It's like called a check raise, called turn. So it's not like I can have many bluffs at all. So like, you know, I mean, he risks me checking back with queens there, which is a disaster for him. Yeah, I don't understand his logic. I think what I'm going to do tonight is go through today, yesterday and what have you, and just like look and make an assessment on the pools. I'm going to make another video in these games tomorrow, because that's just works best for my week the way it is. That's flopping the nuts, which is nice. Looks like we're not going to get a great deal of action. May as well go big here. If he's check folding, then he's just check folding. Don't think he's going to have too many flushes in his range here. He's opened under the gun. He's going to have like king, queen, king, 10 spades. They're almost certainly going to see but that flop. The only one that maybe king, 10 of spades doesn't, but surely king, queen does. The question is here, do we raise now to like prevent against like a queen, a king, which can like be a straight. You can have it. King, queen over it. Jam or call. Surely if he has king, queen or flushes, he doesn't play this way. Maybe he has a set. Maybe he's got 2 pairs. Maybe he's just got king, queen. Yeah. That is, I don't know. I don't know, maybe I'm getting poker all wrong, but how is that not a c-bet? You know, you raise king, queen under the gun, then you don't c-bet your draw, and then you like check call, and then just don't when you hit it. I don't know. I mean, it could very well be that that's good play. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's good play to me. It doesn't feel like it's like makes much sense to play his hand that way. I don't want to sound salty. That's the problem. And it, you know, who knows? That might be the way that solvers are advising people to play these days. So I'm going to be wary about what I say about his play, because I could easily be discredited, but it doesn't seem good to me. Yeah, so anyway, as I was saying, I'm going to look at these pools tonight. There's a chance now that we could go broke, because the bankroll is currently down to we've lost like $20 this session. So there is a chance we might go broke. Yeah, we'll see. I'm not going to say anything now. I do want to make another video tomorrow morning, but if I do look at these in my database later and these games are just full of the types of players I expect them to be full of, again, they're not difficult players to play against, but they are difficult players to, like, when they all combine, it makes the game difficult to beat, because of rake, because of how tight they are. etc. The games are beatable. I'm not saying it's unbeatable, but you know, how much money are we going to make pushing a 4 big blind win rate over a... I don't know why I checked there. Pushing a 4 big blind win rate over a small sample. You know, are we going to make any money for the challenge? If we are, it's going to be minimal. I'd like to maybe consider playing, like, just playing on Sky and donating a percentage of a profit and doing the hand review videos as well, which is more awkward, but I think it's going to make more money that way. And I won't be continually making videos where I'm in quite a low mood because I'm not really enjoying what I'm doing. This might be the decider. If we get felted here again, if we run into like aces, kings or queens here again and lose, that will be the decider for me to say fuck these games, and we'll take our $33 we're going to be left with and add that to the pot and then donate a percentage of our Sky profits. If I do withdraw this bankroll, by the way, it will be we're down at $44 now near the end of the video. We started with 50 on Sunday. We got as high as 60 something. If I do withdraw this, it will just go straight into the pile of money I'm planning on donating. No value in this river really. We might be good chance we bet this river and get caught. We just value owning ourselves. Irritating chopper there. I'm very glad this is just 10 and L, and I'm very glad that that these aren't my regular games, because fuck me, they tilt me these games. I haven't thought this through ever. I shouldn't have started in these pools. I fucking hate the games. I've spent 3 years, 4, 5 years on YouTube hammering the games, but then I don't know. It's like smacking it. I remember years ago I got tons of criticism on Reddit for likening Zoom players to heroin addicts, saying that basically they were just hooked on something that was very bad for them. I stand by that, for the record, but I'm one of those guys. I just keep getting dragged back into the games from time to time for different reasons. Just easy call down here. If it's value betting, we might be in bad shape. I don't think he bets Queen Jack this way on the river, but you can have some draws, some Jack 10s, 8 9s. I mean, 4 5s even got there now. It's just probably a bad call, but I think we're going to be overfolding. Of course, he has the 5-4. Wonderful. And are we yet? Not quite, but we will be in a minute. Yeah, I've already decided, irrespective of what my database says, I'm going to be creating too many negative downbeat videos if I keep playing in this pool, because it's duller than a long car journey with my wife and a broken radio. So yeah, we won't be seeing any more 888 in September. We will be seeing the hand review videos that I've been doing from Sky. We'll be getting back into making those. I'm going to be withdrawing $42 from 888, which I shall add to the donations I've already received, and I will commit to donating let me think. If I say like just 10%, and we have like a good month, it's good. If we say 10% and I only make £300 or £400 a month on Sky, it's bad. I'm going to commit to donating 10% of my Sky winnings this month to the end of the challenge, which I think is probably going to be similar to what I was hoping to make from this. And if I don't make less than £500, then my minimum donation will be £50. So I'm going to end up donating at least £50 plus this 42. Hopefully we get the 150 from you guys, and that will take us to around a close to £250 present to the group. So please do keep getting involved. The videos will keep coming if the donations keep coming. This one's been a pretty dull video. We took the starting bankroll of 60 something down to 40 something, so that's a little bit depressing. But yeah, the videos are going to keep coming. They're going to be way more uplifting, hopefully, and not me just saying fuck me, speed poker's shit. See, I already knew that. I just broke the rules. I broke the rules by playing. I know the games are shit. I know I shouldn't be in them because they're a fucking waste of time. I already knew that. I already knew it. But I ignored it. Let's not do it again. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. See you again tomorrow. Bye bye for now.